Hello, once again, this is Brother Teacher, Reginald. I am hopeful that after this particular video that you're watching is uploaded, that you will be able to see me and listen to me uh, again in future videos here on this particular platform. But because of the way things are going nowadays, it is quite possible that I could be removed from this platform. In case some of you didn't know or already know, as long as I have been on YouTube, all of the various or varying topics that I have discussed, from martial arts to health and wellness, fitness, nutrition, politics, religion, uh, relationships, and so forth, I'm an activist. As long as I can remember and recall, I have been an activist. Not for a particular group only, not just simply black folks, African Americans, but for any and everyone that is tyrannized or that is oppressed by, I continue to use the expression, the powers that be. And when I say powers that be, I mean exactly what I say, the powers that exist. And there's only one power that exists on this planet right now. The premise of this video is about censorship. I've talked about it on an occasion or so, and it seems that our freedoms are continuing to be diminished as the days go by. We were told that our freedom of assembly peacefully, to voice our opinion and expression verbally, as long as we did not infringe upon someone else's rights or destroy someone else's property, that we had the freedom of speech. But it doesn't seem or appear that way. Once we scrutinize what's going on in the media, what's going on the internet, specifically nowadays on this particular platform, I'm sure you know where I am. We have to be careful, and even more careful as the days go by, in what we say, how we say it, the terms that we use, because someone is watching us, someone is listening to us, and someone wants to know who we're trying to communicate with, what we're trying to communicate, and if what we're trying to communicate does not follow their particular narrative, as it were, then we have to be silenced. This is what has happened to journalist, world renowned David Icke. This man is a world renowned journalist. Many years ago, he was labeled as a conspiracy theorist. People call him mad, crazy, ridiculous. But here in recent years, he is adored by many, revered by many, because many of those people, to include new people to him and who he is, have discovered that he actually knows what he's talking about. He is a great researcher. He has a wealth of knowledge as to how the political world, the religious world, the economical world, the government functions, and all of the other world governments function on this planet. Note that I always say, study the world that you live in. And the reason we study the world that we live in, it is so that we are able to navigate within that same world. Because the things that we were taught, the things that we have been told since a child, the things that we have been exposed to are not as they appear. So, it is interesting. One of the key individuals from London Real, Brian Rose, had a video that announced that David Icke was removed not only from YouTube, but also from Facebook within the 24-hour period. Both of them, two totally different platforms. Can you say odd and strange, peculiar? How is it that he's removed from both major social media platforms almost simultaneously? Did someone have a conversation behind closed doors between these two entities and decide to remove David Icke's platform from where I am right now? They've in time past removed some of his videos. They thought they were pretty racist, racy, and somehow or another they end up showing back up. This is why I always say, ladies and gentlemen, make sure that no matter what platform you are on and the videos that you're watching, if they are very beneficial and informative to you and for your family and friends, copy it. Immediately copy it. Archive it. Store it away so that it's not lost forever, because these platforms on the internet can remove them just like that and they are gone. And you won't be able to recoup or recover those videos and that information anymore. So do yourself a favor, do a little work, get the proper software or a thumb drive and record this information as soon as you see it online. Now, if you don't already have David Icke's videos, especially the ones that talk about this current situation that the world is in today, you need to do it now before they're gone forever, perhaps. So again, he talked about certain things going on with this contagion, this pandemic, and how that it is linked with something else. I'm going to do it like this, like a young lady that I discovered here a couple months ago. This is something that you need to research. As it relates to this, and I won't say its name, its current nomenclature. And this other thing right here. Excuse my shrewd way of explaining this. It's really not shrewd. No bells and whistles here. To include this. To include this. Look at these. See that one there? And then that. It's all related. And I have a couple more for you. Just bear with me. You better really get it here. This here, this here, and that there. So, brother teacher, you might ask, why didn't you say those words? Well, I know something that some of you may not know, or you may not think about. I'm sure you know and or heard the term AI, artificial intelligence, right? Have you ever called to pay your cell phone bill or your utility bill, and someone answers the phone, but it's not a real person? It's a computer. That's AI, artificial intelligence. It asks you questions. What is your account number? It's not a person talking to you, not a living man or woman. It's AI, artificial intelligence. Everything that you do electronically, to include, okay Google, how do you spell transatlantic? When Google responds to you, that's not a living person, man or woman, speaking to you. That's artificial intelligence. The same is true with Alexa and Siri. Did you not know that all three of those components that I just mentioned to you, artificial intelligence, are listening to you all the time on your phone? And if you can push a button on your phone and say, okay Alexa, okay Siri, okay Google, and they can respond to you after you ask them a question, why don't they hear you otherwise? They do hear you. And those sitting behind the operation hears you and collects your information as well. Don't be a dummy. Time out for being dummy. Time out for being stupid. Time out for being ignorant. You better wake up. Put your big boy pants on and your big girl panties and wake up to what's really going on. We are being controlled. We're being surveilled. We're being listened to. We're being watched. We are being controlled as far as every aspect of our lives. And whatever we say on the internet is being monitored. As long as we're talking about basketball, love and hip hop, what we had for lunch, where we went on vacation, what was the latest score in a sports event, what's your favorite makeup, ladies, what do you like to shop at. As long as you're talking about things like that and not about what's really going on, you're okay. But anytime you're talking across the internet to potentially hundreds of thousands of people and even millions of people, and you're talking about something that can cause a movement to benefit the population, but the powers that be don't want that to happen, then the powers that be are going to come and see about you, and they're going to shut you down, us down, because there is no freedom of speech. Only what we believe that we have here. But as it relates to any public forum or social media, it doesn't exist for the most part. Because anytime you start saying the truth, those who don't want you to express and or disperse the truth to the masses, they're going to shut you down. That is what has happened to our beloved David Icke here within the past 24 hours on YouTube and Facebook. I'm sorry I said it. But was it warranted? Has he ever spewed hate out of his mouth towards anyone? Never. Has he ever had any strikes against him that led up until this point where he was just removed completely? Never. He went against the official narrative, the things that they don't want you and I to know. Don't forget, Big Brother is watching us. He always has been. He's trying to carry out his plan, not against me alone and you alone, but against humanity. And it's not to benefit us at all. So we, the people, must open our eyes, govern ourselves accordingly, and take the proper stance and the proper action if we want to survive what's about to come. This is Brother Teacher. Think on these things and don't just simply think on them. You had better act on them. I'm out.